Holy crap, guys. Guess what finally showed up today? My Chogattai possibly Kingrobot, Mickey and Friends. Tamashii Nations and Disney and Bandai all got together and made a giant transforming robot out of Disney figures. I'm still not entirely sure how I feel about that, but the fact that it's so different and unique, I had to pick the thing up. I believe it was released just this weekend. It's like Thursday now, so it's pretty good shipping and everything. Picked it up from HLJ, got a fantastic price. Always love doing business with them. Let's give you a quick close-up of the box. Yeah, looking nice. You see a little sticker here. All the first production run of these get a little pack of postcards with the character art for each of the pilots. And we'll see that now. Well, the robots will see now. Let's get this zoomed in. Now you notice one of my first little problems. Goofy doesn't really stand. It's kind of a pain. Now, see, the problem is, see these little floppy feet? Well, I'll flip this up. You see the inside here. Let's get out of the light. The inside here, you can kind of see it's part of the transformation. It's this little sliding mechanism. And there is a little bit so that, it holds it in place up here. It clicks in. But there's nothing but friction keeping this thing from falling forward or back. So when you try and stand Goofy, you set him down, and he flops. Pretty much every time. I mean, it doesn't help that this is a slightly padded table, but even on a rough, hard surface, a nice solid surface, it's still really tricky. I've gotten him to balance once or twice. And the problem isn't just that there are those joints, but this whole upper part of Goofy, this whole black section here, is just one solid chunk of die cast. So it just doesn't weigh out properly. But I guess since he's up, I'll give you our first look at Goofy. See the nice little eyes in there? Every single guy, flip his ears up. Oh crap, he's scared. We'll check this out. Every single guy, try and turn a little so you can see it better. So this knob, this little, well, not knob, lever you can flip in the back, and that will rotate around. So that everyone actually gets their own little pilot. I know this might not always be the best shot. This is my first review of a transforming toy of any kind, so we're learning as we go. Oh, and he does have a slight waist swivel, but that's more for when he's busy being a giant robot leg. So I'll set him there, and he'll fall down. Thankfully, he didn't knock everyone down. Next, let's have a nice look at Pluto. He was not just Goofy, he's Land Goofy. They're each piloted by their respective cartoons. So, Pluto, the dog, who acts like a normal dog despite Goofy being a dog too, I think. But Pluto's got, he's got his nice little tail that moves. The shoulders here do not move. These little guys go. This moves and the feet move, but that's more for the transformation. Pluto becomes the whole right leg. Goofy becomes the whole right leg. Pluto becomes the left foot. We get the whole rest of his leg with... It seems a bit of a cop-out, but it actually works pretty well. Pluto's got his kennel here, which has I think it's the Dream Staff is the name of it. And the kennel seems a little out of place. It's kind of weird. It's because that's half of the lower body. And it's also a shield, and it's a couple other things, but as you can see from behind it is not, in the sides, it's not the prettiest thing. But it works, and it's a nice way to keep everything together instead of having just random parts that you don't use when they're not. And it's a nice way to store all the extra stuff. Now we've taken care of the legs. Oh, and I guess you might want to see... Yep. And there he is with his little pilot inside. Very nice. Next we'll do Diver Donald and Aqua Daisy. They're essentially the same figure. You know, of course they've got, you know, different molding and coloring and all that, but they transform the same way. You can see there's a fist in the rear. The figure comes with 2 extra fists. It has 2 closed fists come on the figure, and then it has 2 slightly open ones that can hold the accessories. Just to make life easier, I keep the open ones on all the time. So there we go. Nice little Donald. And it's a pretty good little Donald. I don't know why, but he's growing on me. Let me flip the little thing around, and bam. See Donald's little pilot inside. Daisy, as you probably could tell, as I've mentioned, yeah, it's essentially the same figure. She looks good. One thing that was weird is I thought this and all the pictures I saw looked like it could move. Same thing with the little tassels on the back of Donald's hat. But nope, they're solid. They're in place. And she's even got her little high heels. Flip the thing around, and there she is with her little pilot inside. Yeah, everyone's falling over. I guess... let's do Willie since he's right up front. We actually get a tiny little Steamboat Willie known as Ace Willie. Got this little flag, the little Disney crest, tiny little paddles, you know, the stacks. It's a tiny little thing, and you'll see a little robot face. But I really like it. It's nice to see Steamboat Willie represented some way. Then we'll come up to Sky Minnie, piloted by Minnie Mouse, of course. She looks pretty nice. Her and Mickey are rather unique, and they are the ones that have the most complex transformation, since the 2 of them combined form the body. There's the back with her little frilly wings and a bunch of extra stuff that you'll see in transformation. Let's flip her little doodad around. There we go. We've got a nice little Minnie Mouse pilot inside. And last but not least, of course, we've got Jet Mickey. This nice little shiny M on his chest. He's got his wings. And the wings are nice because they do actually have... it's not exactly like... it's not a ratchet, of course, but it's... you can feel it when it's in the positions it's supposed to be. And this is how he kind of comes packaged with them straight up. But when you move them down, you can feel a little resistance. And you're like, alright, that's probably about where they're supposed to be positioned at. Let's flip his little doodad around. Yeah, you can see Mickey inside piloting. Oh, and as for articulation, I guess I should go over that real quick. Mickey and Minnie both have a little bit of foot articulation and leg articulation, but it's a little bit due to transformation. Donald and Daisy, their feet can rotate a little to the sides, but that's about it. You know, the feet go side to sides. The arms have some movement, and you've got this in here, but that's transformation related, really. Pluto's arms move up and down, and his wrists rotate, and that's it. I mean, you've got, well, poor Goofy. That's how I noticed I said Pluto. He's got this, which I guess is so that you can have the legs split when he's not in leg mode, but it's kind of just lame and floppy and makes things weird. So that's kind of fun. The arms move up and down. They're on a bit of a ball joint, so they can swivel around. These swivel around here. Head goes up and down. Everyone's head, I think, for the most part, can look up, but that's generally all because they need to do that for transformation. Alright. Actually, you know what? Since I've got Goofy, zoom out a little bit so you can hopefully see what I'm doing, and we'll transform him. Now, I find it a little easier to do... Actually, you know what? Screw it. You just put them together, and they just collapse in until they both click. Now, this doesn't stay closed very well, but you can see by the way it plugs in that it will. Then all you really do is take his head up, flip it around, hit Goofy like that, hup, flip the whole leg up, and there are these little tabs on the side that fit in. They don't plug in, they don't hold fast. I like to have just position his hands like that. I think it looks kind of nicer. And here is Pluto or Goofy as a foot. You can see a little bit of that rotation there. And he is actually... Oh no, there it is. I knew there was something that angled him. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Let me see if I can get a good shot. There. See how he's got these little things on the bottom? Little runners. There to keep him stable, and since one's longer than the other, he will sit to one side. And here's where, I'll point out the die cast again, what causes the flopping problem when he's actually what keeps him from standing up. This whole chunk here, this whole black chunk, that's just a solid piece of die cast. It's great for the foot, not so great for the figure. Check out good old Pluto. Hooray. Pluto, if you've ever seen a dog turn into a foot in a robot, or any kind of quadruped really, you've seen this before. Back lifts up, a nice little touch. It's a little channel groove in there, opening. So that goes in there, so it looks a little bit more like a piston when he's sitting there. And you just fold the feet up and around. They fold down. And there we go. Pluto's a foot. Now, it's easiest for me to get onto this crazy thing. First off, you can just pop the rod off from the side. Where do we go next? I guess we flip out these guys, and then we can slide this down, and you'll see right in here is where this thing's actually joined, just pops right off. And we'll put this bit aside because we won't need that yet. And what you're left with is this. Like, what the heck is all of this? Well, flip these down, flip this up, that whole thing up, take the top, you can see, flips in on there, and this part flips down. We flip this little red piece down, and there we go. And there's that side. Got this little channel down here. Got that on the back of Pluto. Bam. And there, that's done. You can see these two little guys up here. Those two, I'm going to slot into there. Oh, there we go. Bam. And Pluto, I don't think has as much die cast in him. He definitely doesn't have as much as Goofy, but it feels good. It feels nice and solid. Like already, we're only halfway there. It feels nice and solid. Let's do the arms next. Rotate her head around. Flip it up. Might be her arms get a little in the way, so of course you can move them. You move these up here, and then those little can see the little pins there. You just flop the wrists in. So they're kind of like that. And whole head goes like that. Whole bottom turns around. Flip out the fist. Take these, and they've actually got openings in the back. Hold on. So you flip them all the way around, and you will feel them like pop into place. Then you rotate the whole thing around. You're not actually supposed to put those in there. I thought it was something that was original design. No, apparently they are supposed to stay sticking out on the edge like that. So there we go. There is one fist. Oh, almost forgot. Nice little ratcheted connector. It's ratcheted on the inside. You can kind of see it there. And those are ratcheted, but it's a little tricky without it actually being plugged into the final robot. And again, same deal with Donald here. Now, head is up and around. Fold these guys up. Fold them into the chest. Then pop that. Turn it around. Now on mine, this whole little section like comes open a little bit. It's not too bad, and really everything, it just keeps it from locking in super securely, but whenever I can just give it a good squeeze, and then it all seems to be okay. Flip them around. Now flip the whole thing around. Flip your little connector piece out. And there we go. Now where do we go next? I'm trying to figure, Mickey or Minnie next? Mickey or Minnie? Let's do Minnie next. Here we are with Minnie Mouse. It's kind of, I usually like to get her hands just out of the way. Flip up the skirt. And that allows you to take Mickey and pull, or Minnie, and pull the whole side parts of her out. Then, I'm going to tilt her head up a little bit, because you're going to need to in a minute. You can lift her back piece up. Then inside is this little guy. Now we just flip this piece out from inside there. And again, you'll feel it like hit its sweet spot or what have you. This is going to be a little trickier to show. Then you pull or extend her legs out. And then you futz with things. Hold on, I'm going to do it correctly on this side. There we go. There we go. You can kind of see, you see these little grabbers here? It's a little set of clips that the extended leg will clip into. I'll see if I can show it off here. See these guys here? It just clips right in. And when I first got it, I thought they weren't going to work out. But you just need to actually move and get the angle right. So you've got Minnie kind of flying, actually. She's almost got a vehicle mode going on. And I personally take her arms and just... They've got this hinge up here that the instructions don't seem to reference. So I actually just use that to flip the arms up a little bit so that the rear of the guy is going to look a little like that. Alright, so bunch of hinges going on. Take these... Turn them out to the side, and then it's easiest if you use the inside. You split them in half, and they open up to reveal these nice shiny M's in this little crest. So that's half the upper body. Let's take care of Mickey. Mickey, hooray! Let's see. First thing you want to do is just turn his arms so they're facing back and kind of get the fists nice and leveled out. Now, it's almost impossible to see. It's going to be rough. There's a bit of a diagonal channel in here, so you want to... Oh crap, I didn't move them up last time. You want to wiggle this down until it's at its lowest, most forwardy point. Now I know you probably can't tell that I even did anything there, but I assure you I did, and that it's important. So that makes the fists low enough, so you can then drop these down over it. Take Mickey's head, lift it up. It's on this little, swivelly double joint here. Bam. You've got him taking care of the front. Now on the arms, see these little clips. You just want them sticking out to the side. You'll see why in a bit. Actually, pretty shortly. Go underneath the figure. For one, rotate the thing around. Rotate the whole lower half around. Then you're going to want to see this tab kind of back here. If you pull on that, that flips this whole thing up. And some of you might see where this is going now. What you're not going to see is how these legs work out. First off, take these little red flaps to the sides. Just flip them around back. Or around to the side, I think. I don't know if it matters too much. Now here's the weird part. See how these legs have a curve to them? Now you want that curve to go up because you extend the foot bit out a little bit, and those tiny little clips on the inside, you can kind of see it in there, are what these guys clip into. Hold on a sec. This guy's being really tricky. Oh, that's why. There's a ton of different little joints going on in there. There's too many swerves. There we go. You can see little clips got it right there. Right in there. And what was tricky is this swivels independently of the joint it's attached to. You've got that with an leg up. Let's see if I can do this again. A little more on camera. Maybe not. There we go. We've got those kind of sticking up like that, and there's like obviously where the arms will connect. Now let's see about doing this upper body stuff. Now while getting everything fitted around other parts, you want to get these two little guys down here above my finger go into these guys here and here. And also this little piece will just kind of, doesn't attach, but it rests in the back of Mickey's head to give him a bit of a little more stability. You're not going to really be able to see the connection, but you'll be able to see everything going together. See how the feet are there, and then this kind of sockets in on top and fills it all in. Get those two little guys. Now the only annoying thing is the part that's attaching is not solid with the rest of it. This is its own part that folds away when she's in her singular mode. So that thing will move around while you're trying to put them together. There we go. And that's really all that does for connecting, except now you see, I'll have to reattach that clip. A little hole there, tab there. And don't just put it in on that first little bit of the tab. You want to actually, see how there's that little bit, and then there's a little bit more. Get it in there. Come on. Of course you work off camera. There we go. You'll actually hear a nice little snap, a little pop when that's in. But, of course, I popped out that stupid clip on the bottom. And this is only my second time doing this, FYI. And then you kind of rearrange everything so it looks pretty nice. You get your, I like having the fists facing a little more level. And then it's pretty simple. The lower half you've taken care of. You see you've got a little clip in there. Little hole for the clip. This part will come down over this part and kind of fill it in. And this is pretty easy. Bam. Clipped in. That little guy. And that holds it in place. And this already feels pretty solid. Then it's just a matter of taking arms. Take that little clip. Throw it into that. Good. Do likewise on the other side. Now they don't make a noise and they don't feel too solid, but once they're in there, they're in there. We're almost done. Show you. Take tiny little Ace Willie. And I love that they bothered it, that they did this way. You fold that open and you reach under. It's a little tight in there, but you can pull it out. You pull out the head, and that, which is a lot of hollowness inside of it, sits over the peg that was on the back of Minnie. Yeah, we're on there. Everybody's solid. And there you go. The completed Kingrobot Mickey. Do not pick him up by the head. That is apparently a terrible idea that I should have seen coming. Alright, we're back. Just hoping I wouldn't have to do much editing. Oh well. So here we go. There's this fantastic face. The whole guy. Let's see, I lost a hand when I dropped him. I'll worry about that after the review. Nope. Her hand popped in. There she is there he is from the back. You know, not too bad. You know, we've got Mickey's face or Minnie's face sticking out, but the rear of the guy's not too bad. And there we go. Great, and the head's not staying either. You know, when you take that front of Goofy's or Pluto's house, you flip this down, flip this little guy down and around, and he will hold on to the shield. I forget its actual name. Hold on a sec. This head is really bothering me. Why isn't it actually holding now? Huh. Whatever. It's not too bad. And he's got his Dream Rod. Really should have looked that name up. I love that it's got the little Mickey pants at the foot of it, at the base. Got the little Mickey Mouse logo emblazoned there, or embossed there. Not on the back, just on the front. There you go. And nothing pops off of this. So, but the hands are soft rubber, so you kind of just to pop it in there. Hold on a sec while I do this off camera, just to be safer. Since last time I tried to do something on camera, I dropped it and lost Goofy's hand. And I don't feel like I'm going to break these hands at all. They're a nice soft rubber. You know, they're good quality, but they're soft enough that you can get his little Dream Rod in there. And while he's a little twitchy to pose because he doesn't have any, like, elbow articulation, really. There we go. There's his shield with a nice shiny sticker on it. Not quite mirrored, but it's shiny enough that it gets the effect across. You know? It's very nice. Overall, I really couldn't be much happier with this. I knew I was getting something weird and untested, something no one's really seen before. And this is the first, like, Chogokin I've ever actually owned, and I really like this thing. You know, I guess, you know, before I wrap it up, people might want posability. There's not really any. You've got this. There's none at the hips. The knees kind of got one, but that's because of the way it transforms. You've got this arm rotation. See, there he is flopping again. You can rotate there and at the elbow, but you can't bend the elbow or anything. There's no waist joint. There's no anything. It's about as posable as any Megazord you've ever put together. Most combining robots don't have a ton of articulation to them. Unless you're going big and you're getting like a Soul of Chogokin, but that's a completely different story. Overall, you know, Chogattai Kingrobot Mickey and Friends is a fantastic little figure. I'm really happy I picked this strange little thing up. I hope you enjoyed my first review with all my dropped toys and everything. I'll catch you guys later.